There's a strange paradox in life, one that frustrates and confuses almost everyone at some point. The harder you chase something, the more it seems to slip away. Whether it's love, money, success, or happiness, the more desperately you grasp at it, the more elusive it becomes. But then, when you finally give up, when you stop running after it, somehow, it finds you. We've all seen this in action. Maybe you were searching desperately for a relationship, putting yourself out there, doing everything right, only to be met with disappointment after disappointment. Then, the moment you decide to focus on yourself, to stop looking, suddenly the right person appears. Or maybe you were grinding endlessly toward a goal, feeling stuck and exhausted, until you finally let go of the obsessive need to control the outcome. And then, almost like magic, an opportunity arrives effortlessly. But this isn't magic, this is alignment. And to understand it, we have to look at the way the universe actually responds to our energy. There's a story in Taoist philosophy that illustrates this perfectly. It's about a man who desperately wanted a butterfly to land on his hand. He chased it, ran after it, tried to force it to come to him, but it kept flying away. Frustrated, he finally sat down, exhausted, and the moment he became still, the butterfly landed softly on his palm. This is the nature of desire. When we chase something with desperation, we send out a message of lack. We are, in essence, telling the universe that we don't have what we want, that we are incomplete without it. And because energy attracts energy, the universe responds by reinforcing that state of lack. The thing we want keeps running because energetically we are not aligned with having it, we are aligned with wanting it. It's the same reason why some people, no matter how hard they try, can't seem to escape cycles of struggle. They are so focused on needing things to change that they never allow space for those changes to happen naturally. Their energy is tight, constricted, desperate, and nothing flows in constriction. But when we stop chasing, something shifts, not because we've given up on what we want, but because we've released the resistance around it. We move from a state of grasping to a state of receiving. The moment we stop needing something to happen, we create space for it to come. This is why letting go is such a powerful practice. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or settling for less. It means trusting. Trusting that the right things will come at the right time. Trusting that you don't have to force or manipulate or exhaust yourself trying to make something happen. And when you do that, when you truly release attachment, you stop blocking what was always meant for you. Think about a river. When the water flows freely, it moves effortlessly around obstacles, carving its path with time and patience. But if you try to grab the water, to hold onto it too tightly, it slips through your fingers. This is the nature of life itself. When we allow things to flow, when we release our grip on the need for control, we open ourselves to receiving exactly what we need, often in ways we never could have planned. A perfect example of this can be found in the practice of Wu Wei, a Taoist concept that translates to effortless action or flowing with the current. It teaches that the most powerful way to achieve something is not through force, but through harmony. Picture an archer. If they grip the bow too tightly, if they overthink every movement, their shot becomes stiff, unnatural, and inaccurate. But if they relax, if they trust their training and allow their body to move with ease, the arrow finds its target effortlessly. The same is true for our desires. When we are too focused on getting a specific outcome, we create tension. We become attached to one version of success, one way things are supposed to happen, and in doing so, we blind ourselves to the infinite possibilities the universe could offer us. But when we loosen our grip, when we let go of the fear that things won't work out exactly how we envisioned, we create space for something even better to arrive. Many spiritual traditions echo this wisdom. In Buddhism, there's the idea of non-attachment, not in the sense of rejecting life's experiences, but in embracing them without clinging. A famous Zen saying captures it well: let go or be dragged. If we cling to our desires with desperation, we suffer. But when we release that need, we are freed from the emotional turbulence that comes with grasping for things beyond our control. One of the most profound examples of this can be found in the lives of those who have truly mastered the art of surrender. Consider the story of a man who spent years chasing wealth, convinced that financial success was the key to happiness. He worked tirelessly, obsessed over every opportunity, constantly fearing that he wasn't doing enough. Yet no matter how hard he pushed, things never seemed to fall into place. Then, after reaching the point of exhaustion, he made a radical shift. He stopped focusing on money as an end goal and instead directed his energy toward things that brought him joy and purpose. He gave freely, invested in relationships, and worked on projects that truly inspired him. And then, almost effortlessly, the financial success he had chased for so long began to manifest in his life, not through struggle, but through alignment. This is what happens when we step out of the energy of chasing and into the energy of trusting. It's not about doing nothing. It's about moving from a place of calm certainty instead of restless desperation. It's about aligning with what we truly want, not just on a surface level, but in a way that allows it to naturally find us. When we stop chasing and start trusting, life begins to unfold in a way that feels almost magical. This isn't because the universe suddenly changes, but because we change. Our energy shifts. Instead of radiating urgency and scarcity, we step into a state of openness and abundance. Imagine a person desperately searching for love. They analyze every interaction, overthink every text message, constantly question whether they are doing enough to attract the right person. Their energy is tense, needy, and filled with fear. But the moment they stop obsessing over finding the one, something shifts. They start focusing on their own growth, their own happiness. They cultivate a life that feels fulfilling on its own. And that's when love finds them, not as something they had to chase, but as something that flowed effortlessly into their experience. This is the paradox of letting go. The less we cling, the more we receive. When we stop grasping at what we think we should have, we create space for what is truly meant for us. This is why so many spiritual teachings emphasize surrender. In Hindu philosophy, the concept of Ishvara Pranidhana refers to surrendering to a higher intelligence, trusting that the universe has a plan beyond what our minds can comprehend. In Taoism, the idea of living in harmony with the Tao means understanding that life has its own rhythm, and our job is not to resist it, but to move with it. Even in psychology, studies on flow states show that when we let go of rigid control and allow ourselves to be fully present, we perform better, think more clearly, and feel more at peace. So, how do we start applying this in our own lives? First, we must cultivate awareness. Notice where in your life you are gripping too tightly. Is it in your career, your relationships, your personal goals? Are you acting out of inspiration or out of fear? Then, practice surrender. This doesn't mean giving up. It means shifting from force to trust. It means taking action, but releasing attachment to the outcome. If something isn't working, instead of pushing harder, ask yourself, what would happen if I let go? One of the most powerful exercises for this is visualization. Imagine that what you desire is already on its way to you. Feel the ease of knowing that you don't have to chase it. It's simply aligning with you at the right time. Breathe into that trust. Let it settle into your body. And finally, cultivate patience. The universe operates on its own timeline, and often what we receive is far greater than what we originally asked for, if we allow it to unfold naturally. So if you've been chasing something, love, success, happiness, consider the possibility that the very act of chasing is pushing it further away. Shift your focus from getting to being. Align yourself with the energy of trust and watch how the universe responds. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's continue this journey together, embracing the flow of life with trust and confidence. See you in the next video.